Hello and welcome to this week's coffee vlog on the 17th of July, and I'm now heading home from Leeds for the second time this week after another marvellous trial. I'm chuffing boiling now as well, man. So I'll say goodbye to Pasha for the second time, thanks to a blocked group injector valve. Oh yes, the joys. I delivered the coffee machine a month ago, and they hadn't got the correct power or water to run it, despite me saying prior to delivering it, need it all ready so I can hook it up and do your training. Didn't have either. So I left it with them, and 4 weeks later, Wednesday night, they get in touch with me. Oh, we're opening tomorrow. Can you come and do the training? So I was like, great. Give it for 4 weeks, and then you give me one, well, not even a day's notice. So I managed to reorganise to come on Thursday yesterday to do the training. Waited half an hour for the people I was supposed to be training to turn up. Then they arrived, started doing the training. I was just showing them how to get everything warmed up, and discovered that the left hand, it has two brewing groups for coffee. The left hand one didn't have any water running through it. Marvellous. So there's a few things it could be. So after I finished the training, I started with the most obvious thing, which is the group valve. So I stripped all that bit off, which is not a fun job at the best of times. And it was bone dry all from there, and that's supposed to hold back mains water, that valve. So blockage further up, so I came to the conclusion it must be on the group injectable at the top of the group, only I'd not got any sockets with me to take that off, and my best efforts with mole grips didn't want to budge it. So that was me stuffed last night, so I said I'd have to come back today with some sockets, and I actually took an injector valve to make my life easy off another machine. So I just fitted all that finally and got it working properly again, and then ran through the cleaning, because I was going to do the cleaning last night, but apparently in the 4 weeks the cleaning powder and the cleaning accessories disappeared somewhere in the back beyond the building. So done the cleaning as well, and they're now just ready to open and get going. So hooray, go me. So yep, now on my way back home, and we shall see what the weekend brings. Hopefully something a bit better for me. So what's been happening in the world of tech? Quite a lot, of course. Biggest news is Apple Pay. And technical hitch there, I turned my sat nav on and it stopped the video and started playing music instead. So Apple Pay launched in the UK, which probably wasn't that excited about, to be honest. I think the sort of the transaction limit at £20 at the moment isn't ideal, really. Kind of reduces when you're going to use it considerably, and I'm not really someone that goes out and buys, sort of makes small purchases regularly. If you do that, it's probably a godsend. So as of Friday, it came out Tuesday, as of Friday I still haven't actually even tried to use Apple Pay. I got my cards in it, just not actually had the opportunity to use it, that was all. So interested to know if anyone else has got out there and done it, or what it's been like. I know the Apple Watcher has been going crazy buying stuff. I think he was up at about 5 AM Tuesday morning doing his Apple Paying wherever he could do, in the gym, and the gym's can machine, and McDonald's and wherever else. So So yeah, I'm sure there's going to be occasions where I will find it useful. Also, it kind of what spoiled it slightly for me, or has made it less interesting at the moment for me, is I can't Apple Pay with the watch, which would be a huge bonus, because the current beta 3 of watchOS 2 doesn't support Apple Pay. It's got blocked on it. Marvellous. I mean, the good news about the watchOS 2 beta 3 is it's been pretty stable, battery life's been good, and everything's been running pretty smoothly. The odd little oddities, but other than that, it's been fine. So that's been no problem. I've been enjoying some nice wallpapers on it. AR7, I'll probably link to him, his Twitter. He does a lot of iPhone wallpapers and does some really nice job with them, and he's produced some watch specific sized ones, so you can put them on the watch. So that's nice. And also the actual implementation of putting them on the watch is pretty good, unless you're someone who always favourites lots of your different iPhoto library pictures, because if you do that, then you're going to be a bit stuffed, because they're all going to become your iPhone wallpaper, which is would be a bit annoying. I've never used it before, so it's dead easy. All you do, you go through your photos and you favourite the ones you want to be your wallpaper, and it'll just go through and display those. And it seems to do, every time you look at the watch, it displays the wallpaper for you, which is quite nice. You know, it's a good way of implementing it. So yeah, so that's worked really well. I've really been happy with that, and I'll link to him on Twitter. So I'm kind of missing out on Apple Pay with the watch then, which obviously that's going to be the most this could be a very bitty vlog. So also, it's going to stop my phone. Oh, why have I turned it off again now? Don't do that. It's going to stop my phone every time that there's a camera alert, or I'm alerted that I'm going slightly over the posted speed limit, because I'm using the same. New plan, turn the sat nav off, then it'll work properly. Yes. Okay. So, and funnily enough, that's reminded me, as the 2 occasions I got the music playing from my phone, started it up. One major annoyance for iOS 9, and that has been the new music app. Great, no problems with that. Been enjoying having a play around with Apple Music. Got me subscription in, 3 months subscription, no worries. And yeah, been really sort of looking about, listening to some new music, different music I've not heard before, and also some I have heard before, because of course there's a lot of playlists I've been going through, and obviously they don't just have new stuff, they have old stuff as well, but there's quite a lot in there. But one real big annoyance for me, I haven't yet figured out what it is, the new music app on iOS 9 for some reason doesn't remember what I was listening to when it restarts playing. So every time I get in the car, pretty much without fail, it starts playing Ed Sheeran. Now, the novelty of that is wearing off rapidly, because that's every time I get in the car. Doesn't remember what I was listening to last time, it just literally thinks, right, we're going to play Ed Sheeran. So, that in itself is very annoying. And the thing is, it just carries on with a playlist of its own. It's quite specific, because it plays all the same songs in this playlist, but I've no idea where this playlist is, or how it's decided that this is the playlist. it will play when it first starts playing music, as opposed to what I was last playing, which it always used to do, and was, you know, the way I wanted it to be. You know, when you're listening to something, stop your car, get out to do something, get back in, carry on. You want it to carry on where you left off. But no, it's not doing that. No idea why. Not sure if that's a bug specific to the iOS 9 or if it's happening on iOS 8.4 or what's going on. But yeah, that's not great. Well, it may just be to do with the Apple Music subscription. Subscribe to that now, and it's setting off some specific playlist. But somewhere along the way, it's gone completely and utterly wrong. And I'm not really sure. Not really sure how to resolve that yet, or if I've just got to wait and see if maybe the next beta, which might be next week, fixes it instead. So that is a bit of an annoyance, I'm gonna say, because of course when I get in the car, my phone's always normally in my pocket, and I don't want to get the phone back out of my pocket, so and then stuck either flicking through that playlist that's got loads I've already listened to 100 times, or then I'm going to wait till our next stop at lights and use the watch to go into the music app on the watch and choose a playlist from there. Or I can invoke Siri and ask Siri to play something, and I say the watch Siri generally does a good job of listening to me now, so that's pretty good. And I can do it that way, but it's just really annoying because I'm setting off sort of playlists that I found on Apple Music, which I can't redo that with Siri, it won't do it, and I can't do it with the watch really, because the watch only is bringing up my set playlist from my iTunes Match account, and it doesn't start them. And the stupid thing is, I can go in the phone and open the music app, and it's showing that playlist there, and it's showing where I stopped last time. So it is remembering that, and I can set it off from the phone, but for some reason when it stops, cuts off when I turn the car off, and it shuts off the Bluetooth connection from the car to my radio, when I come back and it reconnects, it just doesn't remember what it was doing. It used to. So, all fun and games, isn't it, really? I felt my life would be so boring if it wasn't for all these great fun and games like blocked injector valves on brand new machines that should never happen, thanks to plumbers mostly, and things not working right on betas, and Amazon doing my nutting all the time, because Amazon is the worst thing ever as far as trying to sell on. I've totally given up the ghost with that idea at the moment. It's such a ridiculously confusing platform for sellers, because yes, it's a free-for-all. Anyone can do what the chuff they like and set prices left, right and centre, and once you set a price, anyone competing just goes a penny cheaper than you, so they get to the top of the seller queue. Ludicrous thing. But there you are. I mean, Amazon obviously does very well. And Amazon had Amazon Prime Day, funnily enough, on which I never bought anything on Amazon Prime Day because there was nothing cheap that I needed, so there's not really any logic in just buying something for the sake of it. So there were some good deals. I think the Amazon Fire TV was probably one of the better ones. It's not the Fire TV, the stick, Amazon Fire Stick at £19. You plug it straight into your HDMI just a little unit, and then that runs like a little Amazon TV install. I'm not sure if you could root that as well and run Android TV or something on it, but yeah, that was a good deal. But I'm pretty much oversubscribed for things to plug into TVs at the moment, so I didn't partake in that. Other than that, no, nothing else took me fancy, so I didn't order anything. Don't know if anyone else did. Let me know if you found a bargain or two on there. Surprisingly doing quite well for a Friday evening. This is better traffic wise than it was at 6:15 last night coming back. It's 5:10 on a Friday. We're not doing bad. Cruise on home. So yeah, Amazon Prime Day kind of came and went for me. Other news, I finally gave in and installed El Capitan on my MacBook Pro, for better or worse. Funny enough, that's not had a fresh clean install since I got it a year and a half ago. It was about April 2014 I got that, around there. So that, and I've had a fresh install on Mavericks, and then I went on to the Yosemite betas and progressed through those, and then obviously I've just continued on the sort of beta run with those. So I decided, for better or worse, I was gonna brave it and install. You see, I said the traffic was going all right, and then now look at this. I think I'm going to get into the Hardy shoulder, which you can now use on the M62 when there's heavy traffic. It will then become my junction turn off that I need anyway, so that's good for me. So yes, fresh install of El Capitan, and yeah, nothing too horrible's happened so far. It seems to have brought everything back. My only sort of pull from backup I did is I backed up the mail folder from my old install, because we changed mail server hosts for the business, and back in last September, and of course all the prior emails that I was retaining on the servers disappeared, but I'd got them downloaded. So I got those within mail, so I can still search through and find those things that I should probably do a better job at putting places, but never did, and just left it in mail. So I needed to get those back again. I mean, all the current stuff is for is IMAP'd anyway, so it'll pull it down off the server and just leave on the server what needs to be there and get rid of the rest when it's dealt with. So yeah, I needed that sort of back stuff, so did that, and that I think caused some issues with mail, because it got very confused. Obviously, because I'd put that folder information back, that folder there, so all that was there, but then it thought the account should have the passwords, but then every time I tried to put them in, because it said it couldn't connect, because some sort of random failure or other, it then just kept saying every time I put the password in that it couldn't connect, and it failed and it had gone wrong and something. So that wasn't great. So the solution seemed to be to keep quitting mail and starting it again, and then randomly trying to enter those passwords, and after a while it gave in and actually accepted them and worked. So after multiple sort of quits and restarts of mail, I eventually got it all functioning, all the email accounts. Took some going, but it did work, so yay for that. But otherwise, yeah, everything seems to be going well. Didn't restore my sort of text history, which I tend to be a devil for keeping hold of all that, you know, those old text threads, which is probably because I don't actually text huge amounts of people, huge amounts of different people. It's not that bad to have them all stored then, although the few I do is probably great big huge lists. But because of that, I ended up using handoff from the watch for the mail app. So if where I'd missed out replying to someone because I'd lost that thread there anyway, I could go on the watch in the messages app, find the thread I needed to reply to, and it's quite impressive. You just got it on the watch and it comes up at the end of the dock on El Capitan messages, and you click on that and it starts a message to whichever conversation you're looking at on the watch. So that sort of handoff works really well. And also I noticed yesterday the maps in iOS 9, if you're doing like directions and sat-nav directions, really good. They've really done quite a lot of work on that now. It looks really good. It looks like almost like you'd expect a paid for sat-nav sort of mapping service. And oh, it looks like there's a lane out for some reason down here. And also it brought up automatically on the watch the map that was displaying on my phone while it was sat-naving it away. On the watch as well, which would be really handy, you know, if you set it for walking and whatever else. It automatically just brought the maps up on the phone. You looked at the phone and it showed you where you were and where you were going to be going next, whatever. So that's quite a nice bit of integration. It's quite impressive to see Apple have done quite a bit of work on that integration and getting it all to work together. So concentrating slightly here in case anyone tries to nip off, deciding that it's a bit too busy, like him. So so yeah, I've been enjoying that integration. The fresh install, it saved me about, I reckon about 100 gigabytes to be honest, because I've been moving stuff back as I find I need it, rather than putting everything wholesale back. In fact, it saved me more than 100, because that's 100, but also I saved, well, not 70 gigabytes, but quite a large portion of it with the Photos library. Now, the reason this works, and it's something I realised from the MacBook Air, is if you've got sort of your photos in the cloud set, so all your pictures are stored in Apple's iCloud anyway, which you know, I chose the slightly bigger subscription. Nip across here. I'll take the busy route and go up this way. So if you choose the photos in cloud, obviously when it first imports all your photos to the Photos app library, it uploads them all to the cloud. So whatever library you originate that from obviously keeps all the full resolution photos on your computer. And likewise if you migrated from iPhoto, because if you migrated from iPhoto and didn't delete your iPhoto library or back it up somewhere then delete it, you've still got that, say, taking up however much room it took up, which is of no use anymore really. You keep it as a backup, just as a backup in case you need it, but otherwise it's a complete waste of time. But your Photos library also then takes up the full amount of space. And what I realised from the MacBook Air, because I mean on that I didn't have all the photos, but it had been syncing photos back for a while, because you can set the photo library to now, if it's all in iCloud, you can optimize Mac storage, so it only pulls down thumbnails just so it can quickly show you what's all there of your photos, and then it'll only pull down a full version of it when it needs it for you to view it, and then it'll get rid of it again once you've finished viewing it, obviously. So there's a great opportunity there to save quite a large amount of space. Like my Photos library on the Mac Pro, which had put it all up to iCloud, was about 70 gigabytes. So I backed that up, or everything was backed up anyway, but then didn't put it back again and just started Photos as new, and it just let me log in. And the only sort of caveat of this is if you don't go into the settings for the Photos app and change it, it defaults at wanting to pull them all back down again, so you'd end up with the same size library you started off with. But if you change the tick box to that optimized for Mac storage, that will then only pull down the thumbnail. So I think I ended up with about 2 gigabytes in size or so for that photos library instead of about 70. That's quite a big saving. Now, obviously, if you don't want to do a fresh install to get that, it's going to be a little bit harder, because you can't just move the photos library, because it knows that you moved it. I tried this before. I did a fresh install on the MacBook Air. It knows that you moved it and just says, where have you put it? For want of a better term. I know you had one, where's it gone? So there must be a P list somewhere that isn't, it was part of the Photos app itself, that you're going to need to get rid of, so it lets you start as new rather than you know, having to do a complete fresh install of the computer. It must be in there somewhere, but I didn't have to look for it because I just did a fresh install, so I'm not going to try and look now. But if you want to, sure, Google is your friend and there'll be an answer. Someone will have done it before. But yeah, that's a space savings tip for Mac OS X. And it doesn't matter if it's Yosemite or El Capitan, but what you need to do is, yeah, back up your photos library and then start a new one. Of course, only if you've got the photos in the cloud. It doesn't work if you haven't, because you'll just back up your library and end up with no photos at all. But yeah, if it's all in that cloud storage, you may as well let that take the strain and keep your computer main drive free of that little bit of clutter, at least one thing less. So I saved that. I imagine there's a lot of iTunes backups, which I've still got backed up, so if I need to get them back, I can get them back out of my time capsule backups as and when needed, and put them back on the computer. But of course they just otherwise sit there as dead space, not really helping anyone. So I got on and did that, and yeah, I've been really happy actually. The Finder's got a few issues on El Capitan. And I didn't notice, of course, I didn't notice on the MacBook until I'd done the Pro as well. And then sometimes it seems on remote drives, if you're viewing remote computer drives and things, if you, for some reason, if you have it viewed as the sort of the tiled images, then it's sometimes it just goes to a black screen, or goes to a bit garbled, as if you're looking at bits of the web page from Safari, or a web page from Safari anyway. But the solution really is to just select the list view rather than view those sort of image boxes instead. So I got round that. So it's only a minor issue, like I say, but but otherwise it all seems to be going quite well. So I don't know if anyone's going to try out the public beta of El Capitan, but it mostly seems pretty rounded. Runs nice and quick, so I'll be happy with the performance of it. All the iCloud integration's going well. Interestingly, I did fresh installs of my Firefox browser. I use Firefox and Safari the most, but I didn't on Safari or Firefox. I've not installed Flash since the fresh install, and to be honest, I don't even think I'm going to, because and we have seen in the sort of the tech press that there is this sort of backlash against Flash now, and it's not going to be supported in more browsers. And the thing is, it's always just really annoyed me, because it's constantly getting updated. You've got a Flash update and download. It's worse on Windows actually. I mean, I've still got it installed on the Windows that are in a VM anyway, because Windows, the download package always makes you opt out of installing useless bloatware extra to it. Feed, virus scan, goodness knows what else rubbish that you don't want. But if you don't remember to untick the box, it just sticks it on there for you. You know, go and delete it off again. Right pain. But to be honest, it's not very often there's a site comes up that I need to use it on anyway. So I decided I'm just going to totally leave it off the Mac now, and certainly on the Pro, I don't know, I might install it on the Air. I might have installed it because I don't know, does YouTube need flash now or not? I'm not sure. But so I can't remember if I have actually installed it or not on the MacBook Air. But whatever, I'm going to try and leave it off. Certainly the Pro at work, I never get the chance because I'm working, obviously, to watch videos and things on there anyway, so there'll be no point putting it back on again. So yeah, so overall that fresh install on the MacBook Pro probably was overdue, like I say, and it's probably going to be running a lot better for that. You know, I've completely hosed the hard drive and installed from an El Capitan USB, so it's all lovely and fresh, and then did all the updates. And yeah, on the whole, it takes a little while to get it back how it was. You get it kind of comfy in an OS with everything set just how you like it, and there is always that little bit of a rug pull when you start fresh again, and slowly as the days progress you realise, oh, I haven't put that app back that I always use. Well, not that often because it's taken a few days to use it, but I use fairly regularly. And then different settings, like the screensaver, I always have the iTunes album art, which is pretty nice actually. Had to fiddle about with that, and then it kept going to black screen because the power saving decided it was going to turn the screen off way too soon, so let's change that as well. But getting there now, and I always feel a little bit happier that it's just running that bit better, because you do kind of think, when after so much time you've had so many sort of patches and Yosemite, all these little firmware updates, nowhere near as many as Windows, of course. Random patches all the time, but yeah, just think all those little patches, if you can do it in one big lump for a fresh install, make for a cleaner system. It must leave bits and pieces behind that clog places up. So yeah, that's probably about it for my week. It's nearly back home from Leeds, hooray! Gonna have to go through and stitch all this footage together at some point, maybe tonight if I feel so inclined. And then see how my weekend goes. Might go to York Sunday, so that'll be an alright trip out. Just get prepared for that tomorrow, probably. See what the weather holds as well. I'm not sure if it's going to be a bit of odds and ends at the moment or not. So I'm nearly back from Leeds. That's not been a bad job at all for getting back. Quite pleased with that on average. So enjoy your weekends. Hope you've had a more exciting and probably more productive week than I have, because I've spent a lot of time doing like sorting annoying problems out that haven't helped at all. I had a more productive and interesting week than I've had. Let me know if you've been Apple Paying anywhere, if you're going to be trying out any of the betas, and I shall catch you all next week. See if I can do a more pre-planned vlog, and see something more interesting in less time. Probably not though, I doubt it. It just takes me forever to do it. So rather than keep you on, I shall end it there. Right, bye.